Hello everyone. Today we'll talk about loss and damage fund. So what is the thought behind loss and damage fund? See, since 1850s when industrial revolution took place, there was continuous emissions to boost one's own production, and economic development came at the cost of climate and environment. So climate change happened, global warming happened, and there is something called historical emissions. Now what is historical emissions? So since 1850s, if you accumulate the total emissions, the contribution of every nation in that total emission is known as historical emission of that particular nation. So if historical emission of US, UK and European Union is taken into consideration, it contributes to almost 50% of the total historical emission. China contributes about 10%, 11% of historical emissions, and India 3%. So India is far less. And now this is one picture, and the other picture is that because of the climate change, because of global warming, there has been seen climate related disasters that affect mostly the smaller nations and the island nations, which do not have a big economy to support them in such scenarios. So the concept of loss and damage fund was mooted so that these countries can get a support system in such scenarios. Now the first time when this was mentioned was at Sharm el Sheikh in the 27th Conference of Parties, but it was not adopted. Recently, it's a good news that in 28th Conference of Parties it has been adopted, and nations have pledged their contribution. Till now, about $400 million have been pledged, out of which $100 million have been pledged by UAE, 250 by European Union and other nations, like $17.5 million by US and other nations. So the contributions are voluntary. They are not compulsory or demarcated. Anyone can contribute, even the developing nations. And what else is that this loss and damage fund will be used to support these small and island nations in cases of climate related disasters. Another thing that we need to understand, that this loss and damage fund only caters to the monetary loss and damage that is happening or that has happened in these nations. So there is a monetary part where a building has been destroyed, some infrastructure has been destroyed, some very strategic or basic important infrastructure comes under the impact of the calamity. That can be the fund can be used to reconstruct those, but the trauma, the people who die, and the emotional social aspect of the disasters, that cannot be compensated by this fund. So we need to understand that, and we should continue to play our part in decreasing or at least curbing the global warming and the magnanimous amount of climate change that's happening. That's all for today. Thank you.